Throws it in the end zone into the corner. It is caught. It's caught for the touchdown.
Almost.
Barton hauls it in. Armstrong exhausted. 47-46. The right leg of Ortiz is true. And the Beef sneak out of here with a 1-point win. Their 21st consecutive win. Their second consecutive championship game victory. Their first National Arena League championship. Three of the last four. Yes, you see there, Matt holds the ball. 47-46 final in this championship game. Your Omaha Beef are NAL champions for the 2024 season. This is the episode where Matty Boy can hold the championship belt and not have me offended, because this basically is your episode. This is episode 151 of Inside the Walls podcast. Thank you for tuning in on this lovely Tuesday evening. Sorry about the delay. We had to get the Willie news situated going. We'll talk about that a little bit too later on the episode, but this is the Omaha show. This is the undisputed champion. We are 700 and I think it's 30 days right now. 29 was like yesterday. So 730 days. You are the current active longest winning streak in the indoor arena game. Well, Matt, I know you're not supposed to show favoritism on a league affiliated podcast here in the National Arena League, but you are a season ticket holder. You are a passionate fan for the Omaha Beef. You are probably the dude that thinks he is a member of the actual team, but doesn't physically play a down for the team, but shows emotional support like you do. And we have some evidence from Tommy Armstrong here when we bring him on. I know it's been a week now. Has this, sank in yet, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I can't complain.
Are you going to cry here too?
No, I don't. It's weird. I'm not going to cry. I just took a drink of water. It's so weird. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That was really strange. I really wasn't going to cry. But no, it's been a great week, man. It's been fun. The last several days where we've just been able to kind of sit back and just watch and have fun. We had a really awesome Prime Cuts podcast last week where we had a bunch of the guys on and just, reliving this whole season and talking about all the cool stuff. Like we didn't know coming into the season what to expect. We had some changes with the coaching staff and, had some changes with our roster, and there was a lot of questions. And now we sit here and I can confirm, guaranteed based on a text message that I received this morning, that today is the actual 2-year anniversary from the last time that the Omaha Beef lost a football game in 2022 on June 25th. We lost to the Salina Liberty in the Champions Bowl. And ever since that day, we have been making everyone else regret that loss that we had there. So, yeah.
Well, you can say it. Do I have to upload the actual video and do it? Don't make me do it. But anyways, put the finger down, man. What the heck are you talking about? I do have that video, by the way. I might play at the end. You want to introduce who our guest is? He's very familiar, pretty popular in Omaha, apparently.
Yeah, for sure. Our guest, he is the National Arena League MVP for 2024. He is the National Arena League Championship Most Valuable Player. He is the quarterback for the undisputed champions, Omaha Beef. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tommy Armstrong Jr. Oh, what is that?
It's him being emotional.
Yeah. How we doing, Tommy?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Awesome.
Well, our new future co-host, Jeff, he acknowledges Omaha. So, and the finger thingamajig. He'll be on Thursday's episode. Tommy, I know this has been you're back-to-back champion. You're literally cementing yourself as a legend of the whole entire state. Maybe it's because you wore the Nebraska red, but at the same time, you're vibing with the Omaha orange. How has the community of Omaha and the state of Nebraska supported you on your journey to at this point in your career?
Honestly, man, it's been great. They've been welcoming ever since I had a conversation with Coach Kaiser and Coach Tatum my first year coming to Omaha. Them trusting me as being a leader, just letting me know. We know who you are in Nebraska, but we want to have you come in and be a leader. Have the guys basically, vibe around me and offensively kind of give me control of just some of the play calls and what I'm comfortable with. And I think, man, Coach Tatum has done a great job over the last 2 years of just bouncing ideas off of each other and being able to just get better and better each year.
I know from just watching the game this because I rewatch it. I don't play. I don't have film to watch, but I like to rewatch and see because each and every single game has a different story to tell. What changes, what really sparks a comeback, what happens. There's always certain tales to tell in the game. One thing I noticed about you, it seems like you didn't even take a second off. It felt like you were on that field for all 60 minutes, even though the defense had to be out there. And we've heard in the last episode of Prime Cuts, you went through the hallway between one of the overtime periods and you were completely exhausted. How draining is it to know that you did everything you could in the first half, then have to go through 2 overtimes and still will yourself to get that game-winning touchdown? Because based on the announcers, you look exhausted on the last pass play. How does, as an athlete, you got a lot more stamina than me by 10,000. I'll pass out for the first drive. But that's me. What's going through your mind fighting the fatigue in the long duration of a football game that is like the indoor style game?
Honestly, it honestly starts in the beginning of the year. It sounds pretty cliche, but Coach Tatum and Coach Knight did a great job of having us in game-like situation, conditioning in between each and every practice station that we go through. We kind of put ourselves in situations where we condition instead of at the end of practice. Sometimes we condition in the middle of practice and then go straight to team where everybody's tired, including the O-line, myself included. But in that game, I basically told Coach Tatum 3 weeks ago, I said these last 2 games, I'm gonna use my feet a little bit more. I'm gonna put our offense in the right situation. I know I don't use my feet a little bit because I was banged up a little bit throughout the season. A lot of people didn't know that, but our team. But I felt really healthy them last 2 weeks of basically we treated like playoffs because basically we were either going to play Carolina or we're going to end up playing Sioux City. Mm-hmm. So we treated both of them like playoff games. But I told Coach Tatum, hey, I'm going to use my feet a little bit more. And he kind of took that and ran with it, which was like, it was a time in the game where we had a quarterback run, and I'm like, bro, I just ran 40 yards down the field. You want me to run again? And he's like, look, I need you as much as this team needs you. And going into that overtime period, it was more of just Jake did a great job of kind of getting me back on the right track of saying, hey, look, they just missed the field goal. You got to get back out there. Understanding that is the last game of the season, could be the last drive of the season. Mm-hmm. My team basically told me, hey, look, we know you tired. We all tired. And in indoor, you can score in 8 plays and turn around and they could return a kickoff and you're right back out there. So I just had to, man up and just say, you know what, I'm gonna put it all out there for my team, and that's what I did. And Junebug was right there to pick me up, and I wanted to go for 2, but at the same time, I told Coach Tatum, I was like, look, I believe in Paul as much as anybody else. Paul's been in this situation before versus Sioux City, and it's written all on the wall for him to make this field goal to win the game like he did last year. And he went out there and made that field goal.
Man.
Yeah, I'm glad he did. I was trying to think of the questions that I have because I've asked a lot of questions of Tommy. But Tommy, the one thing that I notice whenever I watched this team all season, we talked a lot about family with the Omaha Beef, and you guys looked like a family on the field there, and especially at the end of that game, like y'all are tired, and whether we could tell it or not, you were. But like, was there one thing that someone said to you specifically that was like, okay, I've got to pull myself out of this rut and get ready to go back out on that field and hopefully win this game for our team?
Honestly, it was when me and Coach Tatum was talking. I really want to say it was probably the fourth quarter when we went out on the field, and we're kind of in that, hey, look, they're scoring, we're scoring, they're scoring, we're scoring. And I was tired. I was exhausted. And Coach Tatum just came up to me. He was like, look, you're not the MVP for no reason, bro. We're going to lean on you. When things get tough, we're going to lean on you because we know how you're going to react. So don't take this with just don't take this to heart. We're gonna have to have you do any and everything to put us in the right situation to win. And I said, all right, I got you. Then that was the end of it. To be honest, and I can say this now because there's video and photo evidence. The game should have been over with on that touchdown run I had, where they said my knee was down and I was completely in the end zone. They go down to score and tie the game up. But like I said, sometimes referees make mistakes, but I truly believe I was in the end zone to put us up 2 possessions late in that game.
Yeah. What's funny about that is there's normally a camera in that corner of the end zone, and that guy happened to be working at the College World Series that night. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to be there. So yeah, definitely. So we saw in the highlight, you threw the ball. Jordan kind of laid out a little bit for it there, and the referees went and reviewed the play. Was there any moment in your mind where you thought they're going to take this away from us?
No, not really. It was just more of Jordan's been making all year. He's made some. We call him Mr. Clutch, and it's a reason why that guy makes plays when he needs to. I think they kind of took away his touchdown in the first play of the game, but that guy makes some catches when his number's called, and I can't applaud him more than I already am because that's what kind of player he is. He's a guy that goes out there and when his number's called, he makes those key plays. And late in that game, I knew it was a catch, but at the end of the day, like we said, we got to be prepared for any and everything. So at that time, walked to the sideline, and me and Coach Tatum was going over the next play just in case they called it back. So we already had kind of our idea what we were going to call next.
How difficult is that? Not really difficult because you got to give credit to the camera crew in Omaha. They had 2 good shots on it, so you knew basically when you saw the first replay, you're like, yeah, that's good. This is a touchdown. But you always you're always prepared for that next play just in case it gets overturned because you guys were on the 7-yard line for that touchdown or 8-yard line.
It may have been a 6 or 7, one of those. Yep, we're on a 1, and then we got a false start. Which put us back 5 yards.
So in that type of situation, will you came back to that same play if they showed you the similar formation and defense?
No, I think we would have actually ran the. Now, like I said, we probably would have ran trips to the right side and ran me and Mac to the left because they couldn't stop that play, and we were averaging. I think I scored on the same play probably 3 or 4 times, or actually 3 times on that same exact formation. It was just. Some defenses, they live and die by their formula, and sometimes it bites them in the butt. But that game, they struggled with trips, so we're probably going to go to that because it was going to end up being 3rd down.
So you're a quarterback that likes to run the ball when you get the opportunity.
Yeah, inside the 5, I believe truly that our offense is predicated on getting a running back or myself the ball.
Well, it's very rare when you look at in the indoor or in a game, you look at the quarterback and go, they're either twigs or they're tall. There's never a quarterback that looks like a middle linebacker back there. Like, and then you coming off with a read option are like, there's some linebackers out there that are making some business decisions right when you're coming right down the goal line. They're like, yeah, you got that, bro. Or there's some that'll try to show you out and get. I think it was earlier this year you trucked over somebody. I don't think he ever went back after you the rest of the game. I want to say that was Oklahoma. You played and you trucked the dude from Oklahoma, and then you ran the same exact play the next drive, and he came after you and he just lit up and just let you score. I'm like, yeah, you didn't want none of that. But again, this championship game, as a fan watching it from distance, it was one of the most exciting games of the season. There's a couple in other leagues that have been very entertaining, but nothing was so much on the line like it was with the I-29 rivalry. As a player watching basically your heart get ripped out of you because of the trick play Sioux City ran, that they ran perfectly. You guys were confused, open touchdown. But then they came back with a chance to win the game with an extra point, and they ran a 2-point conversion and missed. As a player who's on the sideline because you play offense, how difficult is that for you knowing that you can't do nothing to stop this or prevent it? But you're on the sideline, you have to trust your defense. As a player just watching that touchdown, you're like, well, does it come down to this? And what's your opinion when they went for 2 and missed?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing was I'm thinking that right now they're struggling with those field goals. So I think they thought that we were going to take a play off. That just shows how good our defense is and how locked in they were to be able to stop that play, knowing that sometimes those back line guys, those last 4 guys kind of take the play off and thinking, hey, I'm just going to, just sit here and hopefully he misses it and they take off. But they did a great job of stopping it. But the double pass, I never saw. We had that conversation where I was in the hallway. That's the time I was in the hallway. And me and Jake were actually talking, and I bust my lip up pretty bad. And I just needed water and just needed to sit down. And that's the time where Coach Tatum ran back there and was just like, hey, look, if they miss this field goal, you got to go back out there. And I'm sitting there just, hyperventilating and just trying to get my breath. And next thing you know, I hear that they missed it. I had to grab my helmet and jump over the wall and run out there. And he basically said, hey, look, you're going to have to win us this game because they're going to go down there and they're going to end up having to score, kick a field goal, and show us why you're the MVP. So that's what I did. And it's not just me. Like I said before, yeah, I had some key runs. I had a lot of yards, but that's not possible without my O-line and my receivers blocking downfield and making catches in key situations.
Well, and Hannah says you had a couple blocks too. That's very rare to see a quarterback going down there and get some blocks.
Nah, on Mac's run, yeah, when he reversed field. I told Mac I shouldn't have laid out. I should have just ran him to the wall. He probably would have scored on that play.
Our QBs don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like if I have an opportunity to make some blocks, I need to do them because I know down the line they do it for me. I put my body on the line just like they do every Saturday.
So are you a hit stick kind of guy on Madden where you say, oh, I'm just going to do a little normal tackle and I'm going to hit stick the guy and have a thing where you miss and go, crap, guy's going to go for a touchdown. Are you that type of player on Madden that you just hit sticking everyone on defense?
The crazy thing is I don't even play Madden.
What?
Yeah, a lot of people are so surprised by that. I'm a FIFA and NHL type guy. Matt, our other video guy, he should know that was on a bus, and I beat him pretty bad in NHL on the way back from Colorado.
Okay. All right. Cool.
That's weird. Don't play Madden, but you play FIFA. And FIFA's pretty entertaining, especially if there's some gentleman bets happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, I will be getting college football when it comes out though.
Oh, that's the first game since 14, 13. Yep. You have to get it. I don't even have a system, and I'm still going to get it because I'm going to get me a damn copy.
I've already pre-ordered it, so yeah.
Same here.
For sure.
No plug, but yeah.
They don't pay us to say that, definitely. But
Not yet.
but we talk about that, Tommy. Like, is some of the blocking stuff, like, because it's not just the championship game that you blocked. I've seen you block last year. I saw you block earlier this year. Like, is that just something as a leader that you think is important for the guys to see you doing as a quarterback?
Yeah, it just shows like you're selfless. Some guys will hand the ball off, the guy run right past them, and the guy that you could have blocked made the play. I just feel like I said before, if I put my body on the line and show them that it's just not me out there that's trying to produce numbers and and do what I can do to win the game, I can also do what I can do to help those guys do the same. Mac's been a great dude. He's probably one of the hardest workers I've ever been a part on a team with. And every time he gets the ball, everybody has like when they are flowing to him all the time, that only produces my numbers. And a lot of people don't see the bigger picture because Mac has games where he may go off for 80 to 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, and some people are locked on to me. But when they're locked on stopping him, that actually helps me out a lot. So whenever he has a chance to break open field, I want to at least do my best to get downfield and help him out and show him, I'm that captain, I'm that leader that he wants me to be, and I'm not a selfish guy, and that's how I show it every day.
The season has come to its completion. You've been on 2 back-to-back championship seasons. 730 days, I think, is the number. You are the current leading team in all the indoor and ring football for the winning streak. The closest team to you is the Columbus Lions. I think they're at like 680, so they're a good couple of months behind you. Continuing the streak that is this epic journey that you've been on for the last 2 years. Describe how good of a feeling that is that you've now gone through 2 football seasons and no one's overtaken you.
It's a great feeling at the end of the season. During the beginning of the season, it's kind of like that target on your back gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. You're not just playing to win a championship. You're playing for the streak. You're playing for bragging rights. It's more than just a game that you're playing for. But it's an incredible feeling at the end of the year because you did something that a lot of people thought you wouldn't. We've heard the talks of now you get to play against, and Carolina's a great team, but it's hard to beat a team twice. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. I think this year we had the most resilient team we've had in the last 2 years because we've had to do something that was probably impossible, and that's playing a team 3 times in 5 weeks and having to beat them 3 times. And it's a rivalry game. A lot of people say it's a rivalry game. I treat it like it's any other game. And it's not me being cocky. Coach Tatum says it a lot. I say it a lot. But in order to be a rivalry game, it has to be back and forth. I think we're 5-0 in the last 2 years versus them. But it gets better and better every time we play them. It's a great competition for both organizations. But this year, I think the team that we had was it brought us in closer and closer, and it got us prepared for a situation like that at the end of the year. And that's because we've been dealing with it all year. We went to Colorado, same thing happened. We went to Carolina, it happened. We went to Sioux City, it happened. It happened probably 5 or 6 times this year where we started off good or we started off bad and ended up playing Omaha Beef football to come back and win the game.
There was the game in Carolina, I think week 2, week 3. I forgot. One of the weeks. And I vividly remember going back to watching my old episodes, and I vividly said, like, I picked Carolina to win. I was like, I just don't know if Omaha has any of the horses. And in that game, when I watched that entire game, I'm like, oh, Omaha's the better team. Like, and you went out there, big interception in the second half that really got you that extra possession lead, and then it was back and forth, but they couldn't gain ground because you pulled away. I think that was your coming out party for the NAL side, especially for the people in Carolina. They were like, Oh, this is just Omaha. They played in the CIF last year. They're not any good. Well, we played in the NAL. We took Jacksonville toe-to-toe to the final week, or the final in the championship game last year, and you went into their house and basically stole the win from them, and you put your dominance on the league. And you could say throughout the season, the only team I think actually gave you guys an actual scare was Sioux City. Colorado, they took that big league in the first half. And that's like that. That just doesn't sound like Omaha. And you guys, I think, scored what 35 unanswered points there. 41,
46.
46,
so,
something like that.
So I was 35, 46. It's a big number to them, no number. And I remember because I like to go back and watch old games. And I watched that game again, and I was like, they had it then. Like, why was I so blinded by the organization? I just kept watching your games. I'm like, they're the better team. And as the season progressed, you started to see Carolina had a good team, had some good, solid players. They were making a lot of mental mistakes that you guys in Omaha are used to because you played that style of the game the previous year in the CIF. As a person look over the other side of Carolina, they are very talented players, had a good coaching staff, but can you tell that they were still in a transitioning period when you guys played them in week 3, I think it was, week 2 or week 3 of the season? That's why you think your experience overtook them? Or do you think as a player you were just more prepared for that game and you made the plays during that game that made you solidify yourself as the top-tier team in the league?
Honestly, like a lot of people said, it was going to be a juggernaut match. They had guys that was talented. We had guys that were talented. We had some returning guys, but we also had a lot of new faces on the team. And like Coach Tatum said, that was going to define our team. We're going to go into a hostile environment, and we're going to see exactly what type of team we're going to have for that year. And the earlier the season went on, the better we got, because the more comfortable those younger rookies got, and they started believing in the system and believing in the coaches. And it only took that game. It took that game for us to go down there to Carolina and just be able to stay toe-to-toe with them. I think we went 1 for 9 for field goals or something like that. Left, I think, 14 points on the board just off special teams. We had a bunch. I think they had two kickoff returns, and it just found a way to just keep moving forward. And I think as an organization, as a team, that is what brought us in and showed us, like, look, it can't get any worse than this. Like, we're not at home. This is a away game. We found a way to win. We found a way to just play our ball, and I think that was the kind of the thing that got us over that hill. And we started playing better and better and better. And to be honest with you, I think the last game of the season, which was the championship game, we played 4 quarters of the team. Offense did good or defense did good. We found a way to play all 4 quarters the same.
And you had to play more than 4 quarters in the championship game.
That's true.
You had to play the 5th and the 6th quarter. That's usually bar and a second drink. That's the 5th and the 6th quarter. But you guys, again, very entertaining game. And out of the first season in NAL, playing Carolina and Colorado, and of course Sioux City, how was the competition as a player of those organizations each week? What did they bring to you? Different type of strategy that you may not be prepared for or weren't prepared for. Maybe they showed you something different, because Idaho's a new team, Colorado was a new team, and Carolina's a new team. But you're very familiar with Sioux City as they were in the CIF last year.
Yeah, honestly, the big difference is, in the NAL, they like to play a lot of man. They require you to make faster decisions. They blitz a lot. Carolina did that the first time we played them a lot. I think Colorado does it a lot. But once you start, picking the defense apart and getting your offense going, it kind of slows their defensive thought down, where they don't want to blitz too much. I think the second time we played Carolina, that's what basically happened was, they blitzed the first time we played them, but we got so much stuff going on in the backfield that it's kind of hard for that middle linebacker to adjust in the second time around. they kind of adjusted, and we took advantage of it. Honestly, it's not a big difference between NAL and CIF. They have a lot of talent. I think the biggest thing is just certain guys got better opportunities. You have bigger look. I say it's a little bit more of a skill gap in the NAL just because you have guys that's coming from the XFL or UFL now that come in and they're playing for 5-6 weeks and then they're going off and they're playing again. But the talent is there. It comes down ultimately to coaching. It comes down to who can. It's a game of chess, not checkers. Who can think 2 steps ahead instead of just 1 step ahead. And I think a lot of times Coach Tatum and Coach Knight did a great job of getting us prepared for not only the first quarter but the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So Tommy, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is, between this season and last season, we saw this season there was a lot more adversity and a lot more, closer-ish games than last season. I think we won each game by an average of like 20 points or more. So was this season or last season more fun, or were they about the same? I mean, it's always fun winning, but like, was it more fun having to like go through some of this adversity to then get over the hump there in those games? Or
I think this year was a lot more fun. Just because we had something to work for, and that's the undefeated season. The first year, that's where it's kind of established that we went undefeated. But now it's let's keep the streak. Let's continue to do what we do as the Omaha Beef. But it was a little tougher just because now people knew what to expect. They had film on our offense, how we prepared, what we ran, our tendencies. So now we had to disguise a lot of stuff. We had to, get some new formations. We had to get everybody going and everybody on the right track of understanding that the game is not going to be perfect. We're not going to play a team that has never seen our offense, don't have film on our offense, and they don't have time to prepare for it. Our first year, last year, it was that way because we had a brand new offense coordinator, Coach Tatum. Nobody knew what kind of offense we were going to run. So we came out hot. Now, this year in the NAL, people had film. They had a whole year of our tendencies of what we do versus man, versus zone, what our O-line does. So it was a little bit tougher for us. And like I said before, we played Carolina twice, and we played Colorado twice, and we played Sioux City 3 times. That is tough to do as an organization. And it just brought us in closer. I think that's the best part about it is we did something that a lot of teams can't do, and that's beat teams more than twice in one season.
Well, you beat teams more than twice this season, and you've been undefeated for 2 seasons. It's pretty impressive. When you look around college football and NFL, it's very hard to go undefeated this day and age. Even the national champions in college football now are not even undefeated. When back in the day, you had to be undefeated to be a national champion in football. And in the NFL, what was it, the 76 Dolphins are the last NFL undefeated team or something like that? Well, the Patriots almost did it in, 2012, 2013, where they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. So undefeated regular season and championship is very difficult to do. I don't care what sport you're in, especially in football. But you're sketched. Like I've been doing a lot of the math. If you guys start 7-0 next year, you'll tie Sioux City for the longest winning streak in indoor football, or Sioux Falls for indoor football. That's if you start 7-0 next year. I don't even know how many games we're playing next year. We might only have a 7 weeks regular season. I don't know. I think we're gonna have it longer than a 7-week regular season next year. But you're currently 2 years. You got a whole off season. By the time the season begins, you will be over 1,000 days of not losing a game. Then you have that extra couple of weeks till you actually match the winning streak of Sioux Falls. Coach Tatum played on the Sioux Falls teams, but he didn't play on one of those teams that went like 3 years in a row without losing a game. But you're almost chasing history. Would it be something? Well, it would be me and Matt's job to talk about it, the off season and hyping it up, building it up. So it will give you more pressure, or anybody for the organization more pressure to continue the streak. But as an playing for the team, I know Ricky might be on the show or listening on the show. You're 7 wins away from my math to tying the record, 8 to break it. You're in some unique territory, Omaha. That's very rare to see in the game. Almost 2.5, almost 3 years of undefeated.
Mm.
That itself is an achievement by itself, and you're part of that journey. 2 years. That's impressive.
Yeah, but we have to treat it like we did this year. We got to take it a week at a time. We're gonna get everybody's best shot, and everybody that we play, that's their championship game. It's the truth. Anybody that comes into Omaha, we got to play them at their home. It's their championship game. They want to be the team to knock us off. So regardless of what happens, we got to take it a week at a time. We got to focus on what's at hand that week. And if the chips fall where they may, then we'll let it play itself out. But I think ultimately we just every year we want to take it 1 week at a time.
All right, well, we're going to get into a little interesting conversation here. Matt, you may have to close your ears. We're June 25th, so next month, because college football now kicks off in mid-August. Camps start in the middle of next month for some two schools, especially Florida State and Georgia Tech, because they play in Dublin. They get the extra benefit of 2 weeks. Well, your alma mater just got basically a new head coach. They've revamped the recruiting season. What are you expecting from your boys there in Lincoln?
This year, I'm expecting at least 7 to 8 wins. At least Iowa being one of those teams they beat. I'm expecting some good things. I've actually been up, talked to Coach Rule a lot. I looked there a little bit, and just to kick it with him. I got a couple of my guys from Texas that play on the team still, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what they do. We get the chance to play Colorado at home. It's gonna be a really good game. I'm excited about going to been on the sideline for that game. It's something to look forward to, man. It's the second year, just being able to get comfortable with the team, having everybody, just believe in Coach Rule and what I've seen so far from practice to the spring game. We're missing some key pieces here and there, but it's starting to fall in place. And like I said, I feel bad for Iowa because this year it's gonna be a fun one.
Well, you're also pretty unique. I'm not going to bash Matt here. You're a part of 2 streaks. You do know that, right? The Omaha Beef streak and the Nebraska Cornhuskers have the attendance record streak continuously.
Oh yeah, true.
You guys pack out. Put your fingers down, man. Put the fingers down. I've never had a chance to be at a game in Nebraska, but I'm hoping if things what I'm hearing from my alma mater happen, I think both of us, all 3 of us in this room, will be Big Ten buddies here in about 2 years, probably. Really? FSU, Nebraska, FSU. Well, I won't be worried about Iowa. That would be an easy W for me for Florida State. We only have to score 13 points, and we'll win the game. I don't want to bash on Matt, and he's gone. But you mentioned the college football games coming out. That comes out, I think. No, actually, I'm 2 weeks ahead. So in a couple of weeks. Oh wow, so it's 3 weeks. College. Are you more college football than NFL?
Football, yeah.
What game? I know. I don't want to. You're Nebraska, so. Nebraska has rivals. Colorado's the old school rivalry of Nebraska. And when Colorado went to the big Pac-12 now, they're in the Big 12 now. I don't know what conference they're in. They're jumping as crazy as everyone else is.
They're in the Big 12, yep.
They're in the Big 12. You played in Nebraska when that rivalry was still kind of intact. Now it's like every couple years. How big is that rivalry between Nebraska and Colorado?
It's insane. I think the biggest thing is just I would call it the battle of the Midwest, and I think Iowa's starting to become in that picture where it's like it's about bragging rights, like you said, the bragging rights each year. And Iowa, they've done a great job of establishing themselves the last, I want to say, I wouldn't say 8. Yeah, I'd say 8 to 10 years. But I think
one thing that I was good for, they produce a lot of offensive linemen.
That's exactly what me and Matt talked about last time was on the podcast.
You go into the NFL and look at a lot of these NFL rosters like Iowa. I was like, where are all these Iowa offensive linemen coming from?
That and tight ends. If you want to be a great tight end, go to Iowa.
which is weird because Iowa doesn't throw the football. And they got some great tight ends.
Yeah. But
when we do throw the football, we only throw it to the tight end.
Yeah, and the defenders are like, holy shit, did that just happen? Oh, I got to go tackle the guy.
Yeah.
And our tight ends look like linebackers. So
I don't know what you feed them in Iowa there for those offensive linemen and tight ends, I swear. Like, Jaguars have a guy from Iowa, and then I'm like, holy crap. Like, where you come from? Like, come on, bro. Like, can we get that down to Florida State? Some of that Nebraska Big Ten offensive linemen. Just imagine a Big Ten offensive lineman with SEC speed specialist players. Those teams would be unstoppable.
Like Wisconsin, that's probably the biggest O-line I've ever seen in my life. They have this formula where they only recruit tackles and they make them play guard and center. And I didn't believe it until I had a buddy of mine that played DB for Wisconsin tell me that, and he's like, "Yeah, it's true. They only recruit tackles that they convert to guard and center, and that's why I think in 2017 they did comparison to the biggest O-line in the NFL compared to the biggest O-line in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin beat them by a mile. I think the average height was like 6'6" or something like that. Average weight was, I think, 320.
That's big. It's not as big as a differential. When I saw Ohio, no, it was Notre Dame versus Navy, and they compared the sizes of the offensive linemen for Navy compared to the defensive linemen in Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's defensive line averaged outweigh all the offensive linemen or their Navy's defensive linemen by like 60 pounds per player. Wow. I'm like, there is no way Navy's going to win this football game. That offensive line is just going to whip them. But then it's a military school, and they're not there to play football. They're there to serve in the United States military. College football season is coming in a couple of weeks. I know the NAL season comes in, and we love indoor football and arena football. But a lot of us, college football is where it's at, or the NFL is where we, strive, that we watch because, come on, the national media throws it down your throat 24/7. College football news in the middle of freaking June, like, okay. You play in some great matchups in Nebraska, and your buddy here on the other side of the screen is an Iowa Hawkeye fan who he's excited when they score more than 13 points a game. Is there any memorable games between you and Iowa as a player?
Honestly, I think it was 2014. It was actually the game right before Coach Bo got fired. We went to Iowa and ended up winning in overtime. To beat them, I threw a pass to Kenny Bell to win that game, walk off, and it was a game where we were told that if we won that game, Coach Bo would still be at Nebraska, but it ended up not being true. So we ended up winning that game.
So a lot of heartbreak from Matt. Turned out to be a very good relationship between you two.
Yeah,
one's a Nebraska fan, one's a Nebraska legend, and one's a Iowa Hawkeye fan. You went to Northern Iowa, right there, Matt?
I did, but I've been an Iowa fan since I was 5. So
Northern Iowa, they still have a good football program in Northern Iowa.
Yeah. They're actually coming to Lincoln in September. So, and
they're known to upset big boys. I'm just saying, they've done it before.
That's not going to happen this time.
No, it's not. It's not happening.
But a lot of fans who are watching, by the way, we were up to 45 views today. We're currently at 34 live. If you're not on the show, please like, subscribe, share. We'll be giving you some more NAL content throughout the season. We have a show coming Thursday night with Carolina Cobra's owner, John Kane. So we will not be leaving you guys, and we will be doing breaking episodes of any breaking news coming into NAL through the future. Like, share, subscribe. So to wrap up the show, a lot of fans here don't know that you two guys are basically, based on the photo that Armstrong has, Matt, it's like he doesn't play a single down for you, but he seems like he's literally a part, like he plays every single down. And the photo that you showed is him, like, don't start crying now, Matt, but emotional for the championship game. A lot of fans who are listening to this don't realize the bond that you two guys have, and it's not because you guys hate each other because of college football, that little rivalry, but it's the game itself of the NAL and football. not Indiana, but the Omaha Beef. How did this partnership or friendship begin? And tell the people the story of how it began and how that photo became so famous last week on the Prime Cups Omaha Beef podcast. Matt?
Yeah. I mean, I think really it was like when Ricky told me that Tommy Armstrong was coming in, at first I was like, no way. Like, we're not getting Tommy Armstrong to come play quarterback. And so then the second that Tommy showed up for the press conference and introduced himself and I introduced myself. And then from there, it was just kind of, like it was coy last year. Like I had Tommy on my podcast. And at one point, Tommy just randomly went, I know you're an Iowa fan. And from that moment on, I was like, okay, we're cool then. So,
he vetted you.
That's kind of the history of the whole thing. But no, I mean, Tommy knows how I feel about him as a person. I mean, he texted me when my dad passed away, and it just meant a lot to me. And I've told him probably too many times how important that was to me and everything. So I don't know. I can't say enough good things about this guy. So.
Tom?
For me, it's Matt's an incredible person. He does so much for us. He's behind the scenes, kind of like you are, Jim, where it's like we don't understand how much you guys sacrifice. And I try to do as much as I can for not only Matt, but for Marty, our equipment manager, for everybody behind the scenes, for the NAL to the Omaha Beef, whoever supports us. And Matt's been that guy that's always been there. He's always been to all of our team events. He's always been to our games. And he's always in the stands cheering us on. And he sacrificed time away from his family to do things like this where he don't have to do it. So I always have to just remind myself there's more than just football. And it's a bigger picture when it comes to our organization. And you have to show those people that deserve their flowers at times. And Matt deserves his flowers every time I get a chance. I always tell him how I appreciate him and what he's done for our organization and what you guys do in general. Because, like I said, like it's a lot of times where a lot of people don't understand how much time you guys dedicate to this podcast, to going out there and interviewing people and setting things up to where you don't have to do it all the time. And I appreciate, like I tell you, Matt, I appreciate you all the time, and I appreciate you for setting aside family stuff and being with your second family, because that's how I view you as that's part of my family now, because I've been here for 2 years and I haven't had a single hiccup when it comes to our relationship. Even though you're an Iowa fan, I'm a Nebraska fan. It's second to none. So it's a part of my life now. You're part of my family, regardless of what paths we may cross, future, or whatever the case may be. I feel like you're a brother to me now, and that's how I view it. So, like I told him before, when his dad passed away, that's the one thing I wanted to do was reach out to him and let him know, hey, man, if you ever need something, I'm praying for you and family, love you, appreciate everything you do. And he came to practice the next day, and we just sit there and talk for a little bit. I told him, man, look, you don't have to say thank you a lot, bro. This is what family do. So that's what I wanted to get across to him.
Just like in Jacksonville, we have a Shark super fans that do similar things with some players, especially ones who move across the country and need a place to stay. A lot of the Shark fans we have a group that supports these guys that get established in the city so they don't feel left out. And Ricky runs a good ship in Omaha. Like, that's a top tier organization. If you want to rank them, it's pretty hard to go 1, 2, 3. Because I'll say Jacksonville because I'm Jacksonville homer because that's my organization, and Matt would say Omaha. But Jacksonville, Omaha, Arizona, Sioux City, I may be missing one. San Antonio. There are a lot of organizations that do it the right way, and relationships between like you two guys here that's what this sport's about. It's not about national media coverage. It's not about, breaking news, because most importantly, you get the news wrong, you're screwed. It's about relationships that are happening within the organizations that bring fans. I guarantee Matt's son is a diehard fan, and he thinks you're the best quarterback ever. He doesn't even think Brady's the best quarterback or Peyton Manning. he thinks you're the best quarterback to ever play the game.
He stands in the living room acting like he's Tommy Armstrong.
See, that's the relationships that
for Christmas.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to get a picture and I'm going to get a Nebraska Tommy Armstrong jersey for Christmas for my son.
No, it'd be like the old NFL, like bring a home, like the old NFL TV or Sunday Ticket commercial from back in the day where it was a Christmas gift and the kid opened up the box and it's like, oh, it's a real life, Terrell Owens, and it's literally Terrell Owens in the box. It's like we have Tommy Armstrong in the real life box. But I don't think Tommy's family would appreciate that, Matt. So I think you may have to do something else.
Probably not. So,
that's one thing I like about the sport. It's the relationships, and you guys had a relationship throughout the season, throughout 2 seasons, and I guarantee there's a lot more players on the Omaha Beef organization that have similar type of relationships with rump roaster individuals or anybody with the organization. That all goes all the way to the top. Like you mentioned on the Prime Cut show last Friday, the Omaha Beef organization is a pyramid, and the person on the very top is what pulls all the strings, and that's Ricky. And Ricky does a lot of stuff. The guy's apparently just going everywhere from state to state now, going to press conferences. He looks like he's about to run for office. But no, he was in Wheeling this past week, bringing in the Wheeling Miners into the NAL for next year. But it all comes down to the guy upstairs, and what he establishes in the organization is what the organization goes. And Omaha is a top-tier notch organization because of Ricky Burtz. And you symbolize that organization. Matt, even though he's a pain in the neck from time to time, he's a diehard fan. He loves the teams like me here in Jacksonville. If you watch any of my Jacksonville shows, fans, you know how arrogant I get sometimes because, dang it, I'm a fan. I appreciate it. I love this game. I know we're not having a good year, but I'm still arrogant because I'm a fan. It's like you, Tommy. You're a Nebraska Cornhusker player, legend, and it must be tough for you to look at your team and go, can't we just get to the 6th? I would love to go to the Bourbon Street Bowl that's against, a MAC team. Like people don't understand how disrespectful that is. Your team loses a bowl. You're like, okay, you could have got just one win to get, because you may not take it personally, but your arch rivals be like, you didn't get to the bowl game. Oh, you guys stink. So when Florida State missed a couple bowl games the past year, I'm like, oh man, like come on, just wouldn't want. There's some years that we didn't even get nowhere near 6 wins.
Yeah, it's tough. Like the last 10 years, we had 4 different head coaches, so it's like
you can't build consistency.
You can't have a consistent team when you don't have a consistent head coach.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm praying
that Rule can have at least a chance to turn the tables around. So
you'll be happy to go to the Outback Bowl this year in Tampa, right?
Man, I'd be happy any bowl game.
Yeah. I think it's a Big Ten bowl game this year.
I think after week 8 will be bowl game eligible.
Ooh, okay. So, all right, place your bets, people. Tommy said after week 8. So he's saying 6-2. So who the 2 losses going to be by week 8?
Ooh.
Don't you guys play Ohio State week 8?
Yep.
Is it at Ohio State?
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably a lot.
And then I think the next toughest game is we have a lot of away games that's like top teams. I think I want to say it's, man, I got to look at the schedule.
That's where you right there, ladies and gentlemen. He's a Nebraska legend. He doesn't know what's going on in Nebraska.
It's the one that I'm kind of skeptical about is the Colorado game, even though it's at home. Mm-hmm. Those are the 2 that I'm like, ugh.
Is that like a kickoff classic game, like right off the bat?
Yeah, it's the second week. We play then we play Colorado at home. And it's another game.
Well, the college football season begins in September, but week 0, which is weird, they kick off a week to 2 weeks before the actual season begins. We're all college football fans here. We all love different styles of football. Plus, we're in 3 different parts of the country. Got a little rivalry here between Iowa and Nebraska. Any final words, Tommy? I want to say thank you for joining the show. I know the off season could be intriguing because I hear that you're going on vacations. But you also you have a family around you, so they're more important in this stage. Besides Nebraska, You got any plans of visiting your alma mater during the season?
What do you mean besides Nebraska? As far as like high school or anything like that?
Besides besides with your family, what you're doing with your family, are you going to visit the alma mater this season?
Yeah, I'm gonna go up and see them play Colorado. So I'll be
with
excited.
The fans, or are you going to be in box seats?
Nah, I'm gonna be on the field.
Oh, okay.
Sideline. So
yeah, he saves the box seats for those of us that
he's saying he's going to be on the field, but he's going to be up there with the with the teacups and the press box.
Nah, the time I'm up in the stands is when it's below 30 and it's cold and windy. If I'm not playing, I don't want to be in that weather.
Right.
That's almost yeah. I won't blame you either. Down here in Jacksonville, it's hot as hell. I don't want to be out there if I don't have to be. Yeah, there's a reason why there's AC. It's been invented. Matt, any final words?
No.
For Tommy, we have to come back for a quick announcement after this.
Yeah. No. Just thanks again, Tommy, for being here tonight. And just go enjoy your family. And I know we'll be in touch over the next few weeks. So.
Yes, sir.
And don't end up in Matt's house for Christmas, because I don't think that would be right. Tommy, I appreciate you coming on the show. Hopefully the off season treats you well. You get healthy, get ready, and hopefully we see you next year in Omaha. Or
yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Or any team, but hopefully in Omaha, because fans in Omaha love you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
We'll be back after this, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up the show. Some announcements of the podcast, and Tommy, much respect.
Yes, sir.
Omaha. Acknowledge me.
Congrats to Omaha getting to do that tonight.
I told you I had the video. I wasn't joking. Appreciate the love and all the support. Up to 45 viewers tonight here on the episode of Inside the Walls podcast. Thank you to the people who attended tonight's episode with Tommy Armstrong. And of course, Matt has a chance to hold his belt with pride. And yeah, good. See, when you're lifting it just disappears, by the way, because of the green screen in the back. And it's it just evaporates like it doesn't. It's getting Thanos in live.
That's just a wall. That's just a wall with an NAL logo.
Oh, okay. That's what they say. Announcements with the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. As I mentioned earlier, if you're watching right now, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate the love and support. We've had some breakout numbers this season for the episode. We want to say Matt does a great job with Prime Cuts. We didn't want to really do a super Omaha celebration show because we didn't want to keep more league based and talk about different things. But we appreciate the love and respect. This Thursday, we will be joined by our new colleague. We will have a 3-man crew from here on out for this foreseeable future. I've had people DM me, Jim, we love the show. Are you guys coming back next year? Yeah, we're coming back next year, and we're going to be here during the off season. We have an episode Thursday with owner John Kane. Then next week, we will, unless there's something happens with the league, any breaking news, anything happen, we will not have a show next week. We will take a week off, and episodes will become bi-weekly after that. Next week, and as we get deeper into the season, we'll start interviewing owners, a lot of the execs of the league, get the commissioner back on. We'll get more behind the scene. We'll do an episode after the owners meeting in late July, see what the breakdown, all the information that comes from that meeting and what the 2025 season will tell. But we're going to come out, The other end, there were 3 guys. You got a lot of players interviewed from different teams, especially our new colleagues coming in from West Virginia as the Wheeling Miners became the sixth team of the National Arena League. They'll kick off the 2025 season. If you want to get some more, if you want some more arena football action, indoor action, they have a championship game next Saturday on July 6th. So watch what Wheeling can do as they will be playing for a title. And after that game, they will be official members of the National Arena League. So we have a game. We have an episode this Thursday night, 9:00, with the owner John Kane of the Carolina Cobras. We'll discuss what's going on with Carolina, where the future is happening, what the organization is going to do. So please tune in this Thursday with owner John Kane. And then we'll take next week off unless some news happens in the National Arena League. We'll bring you breaking news on the day that the news has been released. Any questions? Send them. Comments been booming. Over 40 people viewing. I appreciate you. Again, this has been a fun season. I know there's some episodes this year that we missed. But again, we're human. We do our own things behind the scenes. But I would just want to say to Matt, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege of working alongside you this season. We somewhat met in Tampa for the Royale Rumble, but I have a feeling that we're going to meet again, probably in another Royale Rumble. And I think they're in Indy this year. So, again, our buddy Jeff. So if you're WWE fans, you're going to get a lot of wrestling puns on this podcast now. You're going to have 3 WWE hardcore fans on here. But we won't bash you a lot about it. But I want to say thank you again, Matt, for the love, the support, the dedication, and the bickering that me and you do behind the scenes is hilarious. If that could be an episode by itself, me and you and Bob from the Inside Sharks, we can make a podcast that's just us just bickering at each other. But it's all love and respect.
Yeah, definitely. I was just excited when you invited me to be a part of this, and just being able to come in and do this. And yeah, I love the Omaha Beef, but I love the indoor football arena game, and just getting the chance to meet some of the players from the other teams and the coaches and just the organization. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you for this opportunity, and look forward to seeing the sky being our limit here with Inside the Walls.
I'm afraid of heights. Is anything higher than the sky? Well, space, stars. Yeah. Also, I don't want to look back at Facebook. We got a comment from a fan that has been a listener since from day one for Inside the Walls podcast, and throw me out there. I don't bigger. Really? Sit down, Bob. Sit down. We were bigger in the night. What are you talking about? Don't come on this podcast and steal this one. You already stole the other one there, bro. We got a DM on Inside the Walls podcast, one of our listeners. Appreciate what me and Zach did in the early stages of the game, but appreciated me and you, especially this season, keeping the narrative focus on the National Arena League and providing information and actual sources to the fans what's really happening with the league. And they felt more that the NAL was in a better position with us covering the league and releasing information than watching or looking at Facebook posts from random people and thinking they have the inside information. And I reached out to the individual and it's like, I really appreciate it. We do this for fun. I love working with the International Arena League, and our partnership is getting stronger as we progress into 2025. But to the fans out there, I did get a comment from somebody, and I want to get some feedback here, either on the Facebook page or on the comments right now. Didn't realize that none of our audio podcasts of the last 12 episodes wasn't uploaded on our podcast platforms. Do you rather like watching the podcast or listening on podcast platforms? Let us know. If you do, it will take me a couple of days, but I will update all the past episodes up on Podbean. I didn't realize StreamYard decided not to upload our audio. So that's my apologies on that, and I thought I was doing it for the whole entire time. I do apologize. Stop shaking your head at me. What are you going to do? Like, I do a lot of work for you, bro. No,
I'm just kidding with you.
Also, I want to give a shout out to 2 fan bases based on our algorithms this season. I want to give a shout out to the Omaha Beef organization and Omaha Beef fans. If we gave an award on what fan base watched our show the most this season, it will be given to you guys in Omaha. Secondly, to the fans of Carolina, you guys, again, are dedicated hardcore fans and you support our show a lot. We got a lot of numbers from your area. And to the people in Fort Collins, you guys showed out too. A lot of good numbers from a lot of the NAL teams. And I want to say, without you guys, I don't do this because there's one thing about this game, and it's very hard to do. Matt knows this. In this industry, it's very hard to repair a broken image. And as much as you think I take shots at other leagues or at another certain league, I'm not doing it because I have, ill will. I do it because I have heart for it and that I know what's going on and I try and warn people. But one thing I know is that I do this because me and Matt's relationship is tight. Me and Bob's relationship is like really tight. And one thing I want to say to the 45 people who are currently watching, well, went down to 40, but still, for the 40 people who are watching right now live, last episode, the championship episode with Sioux City and Omaha, we reached over 1,000 views and downloads for that episode. Thank you to you. So when I go on podcasts and I say the longest reigning continuous podcast that covers arena football, I'm not doing it because I'm just trying to do a weird flex. I'm doing it because I'm seeing the numbers, and I'm doing it because the people who I care about the most continue to tune in. And Matt even told me behind the scenes, I don't want people to know, Matt's like, what are you going to talk about, Jim? What are you going to talk about? Me and Matt have decided, or I think we've kind of decided, that we might be doing some T-shirt gigs for Inside the Walls podcast, probably. This is Inside the Sharks. I was at a Shark event today, so I do apologize, but the logo looks similar to our branding. We do have major network announcements coming up this off season. Yes, the network is growing, like the NAL. We got we got Jeff coming. Willing is joining, so we got to get ready for them. We got some major network announcements. Me and Matt are planning on some big things behind the scenes, and we're dedicated and committed to keep pushing forward and keep giving you, the listeners of the indoor game, the correct and real news, and not giving you false hope and promises on a daily basis. We're not here to do that. I want to thank Commissioner Todd Walkenhorst, Ricky, Steven Shatola from behind the scenes. You don't see him a lot. And everyone who's in the NAL who's working their butts off, but yet get a little respect. But one little thing goes wrong in NAL, it's everyone's fault. A lot of stuff happened behind the scenes this off season to get through the season. And it's without them, we're not here. And it's without you guys, we're not here. Again, thank you, Bob. Awesome work. We do a great job. Jeff coming this Thursday, going to bring the fire with the new show. Again, to the 40 people who are tuning in, I expect this episode to be big. This is awesome. I really appreciate it. Really love the support. This season alone, I can officially say this, and you can fact check me all you want. Is that a thing still, fact checking?
I don't know.
No? This season alone, Inside the Walls podcast associated with the National Arena League surpassed 6,000 total views. That is currently the third most viewed show on the Inside the Walls network, behind the Willing Coaches show, which is number 1. Willing, for some odd reason, got over 13,000 views of this season. And number 2, the Prom Cuts of Omaha Beef show at number 2. 6,000 views is incredible. I've actually had the opportunity, Facebook has reached out to me to have a chance to monetize Inside the Walls network or Inside the Walls podcast based on the number threshold we have touched. And that's because of you guys. Unfortunately, we can't do that because here's the reason why. We're associated with the National Arena League, and everything got to get approved by them first. So, but again, it's without you guys. And, oh, look, Spreading the brand. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we got sold one. Yes. Buy one, get one free. I don't even know yet. We don't even. Hey, got to spread it even more. But again, I want to say to the Omaha Beef fans, you guys showed out this season for the episode. Even the guys who are not even on your team, you're tuned in. You had the highest ratings throughout the season for our show, and that's love and respect. I really appreciate it. I lost the train of thought because of it. Very passionate. But anyways, Matt, where you living? Where you doing?
Sorry, I got a text message I couldn't miss. I apologize.
We got people taking orders here. You got Jake, your boy's taking 2.
Okay, awesome.
So
great.
so it looks like
writing down our orders right now.
So yeah, that's some. Might have to get a hold of your boys. I may want to do some updating on some graphics for next season's Inside the Walls podcast. So let's figure something out on that there, Matt. Can I have mine signed? Oh, look at me so famous. No, I'm good. But yeah, hopefully next year I'll be in Omaha. That's my goal, is to at least get to Omaha or Sioux City next season for a game. So yeah. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this has been an incredible season. We'll be back Thursday night. We'll take next week off, and we'll be back every other week. We are not going anywhere. We're not closing up shop. We're not folding. We have paid the bills. We're good. We'll be back next week, or in 2 weeks. Then we'll be back. We won't be canceling the episodes. Don't worry about that, because we do pay bills. But yeah, any final words there, Matt?
No, the support's been incredible, whether it's been from Omaha fans or just the community in general, people that I've met. So yeah, I really appreciate the support that we've gotten on the podcast this year, and looking forward to the future of our podcast and our network.
Man, I did have a good one, but unfortunately I can't play it because I was hoping you say something like a little dig, but you didn't do it. Little zingers you usually do, and you didn't do it in this one, so I can't really do it. So yeah. But anyways, we're very
That's 4. Maybe we have something here.
Probably. Let me get back here. And let me get back here in the episode. Again, appreciate all the love and respect. Yeah,
we should probably end this.
We're probably end it, but FYI, I am working on something that everyone would enjoy. I'm doing an entire blooper reel for all of our gaffes this season. It's going to take me a couple of weeks to get it. There are some parts where I'm completely mispronounced someone's name, and Matt goes, "Who are you talking about?" And I'm like, "What?" And then you say the person's name, and you completely gaff on the name too. So it's it's a good blooper reel. It's going to be about 3 minutes long. It's going to be coming at the end of the year. Again, we do this. This is what my basically this is what my buddy says here in Jacksonville. You've made it in this industry when people hate you and despise you because you got information they don't, and the only way they can be relevant is to make up fake stuff and label you as the bad guy. And I'm like, oh, so I made it. I enjoy it. I love it. Anyways, we're getting more shirt orders. Holy crap! Let's go. Woo! We gotta start a store. Anyways, again, Matt, appreciate it, love and respect. I'll talk you behind the scenes, but to the fans out there, it's been a great season. We'll be back Thursday with John Kane, Carolina. So your Carolina Cobra fans out there who are watching it Thursday night, gotta tune in. A lot of good information is going to be coming into that episode about the Carolina Cobras organization Thursday night at 9 o'clock with the owner, John Kane. So please tune in on Thursday night. Then we'll take next weekend off. That is Matt. I am Jim. This has been episode 151 of Inside the Walls podcast. And we'll see you guys on Thursday.